Here with Cole Jackson, a defensive tackle for the UMC football team. Just wanted to talk a little bit about I know you have a pretty interesting backstory with your father being an Olympic gold medalist, and just kind of wanted to ask you some questions on that. Just first off, going kind of a different route, just what is it that led you to Crookston, Minnesota from Ames, Iowa originally?
Well, starting out, I went to junior college when I graduated high school. And the plan was to go, to a bigger school, but things didn't work out. So I started getting recruited. Coach Knox gave me a phone call one day, and we spoke on the phone. And I decided to take a visit up here. And my head coach at my JUCO actually went to school here when he was in college.
Oh,
so I had a little bit of information on it. So they said, "Why don't you go ahead and take the visit up there?" Took the visit, and came up. And at first, at the small campus, wasn't too sure. But then I just felt like the school really wanted me. So that was a big deal to me. So I was actually on vacation in Colorado, and everyone from the coaching staff was in a meeting, and they all called me, and they were all in the office. And then after that, once I talked to them, I felt that they wanted me here. So that's how I ended up here, and I just felt that this was the place for me. So
how have you made the adjustment so far? You've been here for like a semester and a month, right?
Yeah.
Just how have you made that adjustment from, junior college to a full, 4-year institution?
Well, at the junior college level, once you get in there, you're getting out. It's not you're not going to a school where you're going to be there for, your whole career. So, once I got here, I knew that I was here to stay. So, that transition was easy because this is where I knew I was going to end up and where I was going to end my football career, hopefully. But hopefully, if the next step allows it. But this is where I knew I was going to end my career. So that transition was here. I got to be 100% into it because I know I'm not leaving anytime soon. So
absolutely. You're a newcomer, but you're already starting at defensive tackle. What have you done to make an impact already with, just getting here?
Recruiting, they talked to me and said that I was the guy that they needed. So, from the get-go, coming into spring ball, I knew that I was going to have to be a leader, and I was going to have to step up because, there's a reason that they brought me in here. And, that was to be, a player to reckon with. And, I just felt like if I come in here and work as hard as I can, there's no reason why I shouldn't be that player. So, I just came in with the mindset that I was going to be that guy regardless of who was around me. So
absolutely. Your dad was a gold medalist at the 1992 Barcelona Games in freestyle wrestling. Now he coaches at Iowa State University for their wrestling program. How is it that you are playing football now with just growing up around wrestling?
It's crazy because ever since I was a little kid, I can remember, wrestling has always been in my life. And, the funny thing is, man, my first love was basketball. Yeah. So, I was playing basketball, and then, as I got older, I was going to wrestling camps, just sitting on the side watching. And I didn't end up wrestling until I was, I want to say 7th grade.
Okay.
I played football as a 6th grader, just decided to sit out of wrestling. And then 7th grade, I just finally decided to go for it. And my 7th and 8th grade years of wrestling were just terrible. I was getting beat every match. And then, I started going into camps and started really trying to be a great wrestler. And, I had a breakthrough, and I ended up qualifying for state my freshman year. And then I never reached my goals as a wrestler, but I always loved playing football. Just being around that team sport and being with my friends and just having fun.
Absolutely.
Wrestling's hard. So football's way easier. So, but there's always the mindset that I'm a wrestler at heart. But
yeah.
I love football. I've been playing it, ever since I was a little kid, just messing around. And then
Absolutely.
Once I finally got those pads on, it just kind of stuck with me. And my dad said, "Go where the money is," and you know what I'm saying. That's where I'm at now, is just playing football. So.
Absolutely. Like we touched on, your dad was an Olympic gold medalist. First off, has he ever let you wear his gold medal? Does he? Where is it in your house, or is it in his office?
When my dad, I don't remember the year, but he was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And That's down in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So that's where he keeps the gold medal. I mean, it was at our house. I want to say up until I was like 15, and it just sat in the cupboard, just sat in a little drawer in the cupboard, just sat there. But I have a few pictures with it on, but right now it's down in Oklahoma. Hopefully, I'll get it back here pretty soon. But that's where it's at right now.
Just with your dad being an Olympic gold medalist, what has that done for you to help, push you to achieve your own goals, knowing that, he reached the pinnacle of his career? And just what are some of your goals personally?
Well, as being that he was a gold medalist, I mean, I've been around the highest level, the highest level of training that you can be around. It doesn't get much higher than the Olympics. So I've been around the Cael Sandersons, the Henrys, the Jordan Burroughs. I've been around gold medalists, and I've seen how hard they've trained, and I've seen how hard they work to reach their goals. So I mean, the way I grew up was that I need to train just as hard as those guys, and I know what hard training was like. So that really influenced me on how hard I was going to work and how hard I needed to push myself to get to the next level. And ultimately, I think my goals are just to be successful. But I mean, it's everybody's dream to play in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But if that doesn't work out, I eventually want to end up getting into coaching with my father. Because like I said earlier, I mean, I'm a wrestler at heart, and I love the sport. I got a lot of passion for it, and I want to get into coaching, whether it be wrestling or football. That's the goal. So,
like you touched on a little bit, your dad was also the Olympic wrestling coach for 7-8 seasons, operating out of the U.S. Training Center in Colorado Springs, and you got to be around a lot of those top wrestlers. Just, you touched on it a little bit already, but just what are some of the cool stories you have with being around the Cael Sandersons, being around those type of athletes who were the top in their field?
I mean, they're the same people as they're just the same as everybody else. I mean, growing up there, I mean, I got to watch people, grown men go to my father and cry and complain and moan and just say it was too hard, So I mean, just seeing that, it just opens your eyes and say that, even though that they are these great athletes, they're still human. But I remember one time we were in there, and one of the women was training, and her name was Patricia Miranda, and she was training with her coach, and I had never seen a woman work that hard. She was working harder than most men. But once I seen that, I mean, if she was working that hard, I mean, I knew that I could be working just as hard as her. So, I mean, just being around those athletes in the Olympic Training Center just really opened my eyes to what being an athlete is all about. So, I mean, they were never going twice a day, never taking any breaks, and always doing the right thing, and that that really helped me get to where I am now, because I knew what it took to get to that next level. So.
Absolutely. Just what are some of the lessons growing up your father tried to teach you, just through that he learned through his wrestling career at LSU and then Iowa State, and then just as an Olympic athlete, and then through his coaching career?
What he's always stressed to me, like I said earlier, is just always doing the right things. Ever since I was little, whether it be keeping my room clean, saying the right things, doing my homework on time. That's what I've told every person that's ever asked me, what have I learned through my father, and it's do the right things all the time, and that's a big thing that I like to take in, because he doesn't stress that enough, that you just need to always do the right things, because if you're doing the right things off the playing field, you're going to be doing the right things on the playing field too. So that's the biggest thing that I've learned from him, and I'm gonna tell it to my kids, and they're gonna tell it to their kids, because I mean, it's just that important.
Absolutely. You talked about how you're a wrestler at heart. What have you used from wrestling in terms of technique? Is there anything you take onto the football field as a defensive tackle that you've learned from wrestling that can transfer over?
Absolutely. I mean, being a wrestler, I mean, I really know how to control my body well and play with great leverage. I mean, that's not something that everybody's just able to do on a day-to-day basis. I feel that being a wrestler, it provides me with great leverage and being able to use my body well. And at the same time, I mean, I feel like when I get a tackle, I'm gonna be able to stay on those legs just like I was in wrestling. So, I mean, wrestling has made me a 100 times better football player. I mean, if I would have stuck with basketball, I wouldn't be able to do the same things that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But I mean, wrestling has made me into a way better football player than I ever would have been. So,
Just, I know you guys are 0-2 as a team right now, but just what are some of your team goals to finish off this year and going into next year for you and as a team?
well, obviously, our goal is to make the playoffs. We started out 0-2, like you said, but I mean, we're not an 0-2 team.
Yeah.
If you watched that last Concordia game, you know that the way we played right there is we definitely could have won that game. But I feel that we just got to put it together. I feel like we've been having great weeks of preparation, and we're right there. As a team, we are right there. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we start marking up those W's. So, I mean, I'm really excited for the rest of these games because we are right there. But I think as a goal, as a team, I mean, it's definitely to make the playoffs. But before that, we just want to excuse me, we just want to win. Because I guess there hasn't been a conference win in I don't know how many years.
4 years.
4 years. So
Yeah.
I mean that's almost unheard of. So I mean, that's our goal right now. That's the priority is to get a victory. But after this year, I'm going into my senior year, so I want to be able to do as much as I can to make sure we are, getting these victories and hopefully making these playoffs in the next 1 to 2 years. Because I mean, what a better way to go out by going to the playoffs with a team, that hasn't won a conference game in 4 years. If we make the playoffs, that's crazy. That's history right there. So I mean, first and foremost, get that victory, but I wouldn't be surprised if we can put it together and hopefully make the playoffs. So.
Okay. Thanks, Cole.